Hi there, thanks very much. DefinitiveDx is a case sharing tool for doctors. And I actually came up with the idea when I was working in Africa a very long time ago as a medical student. And one of the doctors there said, you diagnose what you know. And you're like, yeah. You don't diagnose stuff you don't know, because you can't write it on a piece of paper. And at the time, we were doing a lot of telemedicine, so we were connecting people via the internet. And that was kind of interesting because in those days, it was copper cable. I mean, now you have these lovely fibre optic and Wi-Fi things. And they lay the fibre optic cable from Durban to Mosveld Hospital in KwaZulu-Natal. And I don't know if you've been to Africa. It's an amazing place. Definitely go there. It's fantastic. But one of the things they do is sell by the road little toys made of copper wire. And no prizes for guessing where they get the copper wire from. Yep. So the internet didn't really work at Mosveld Hospital very much. Interestingly, since then they brought in mobile towers, which are harder to roll up into toys. So the mobile towers work. So they skipped kind of various technologies on the way and went straight to mobile 3G. And that has taken off enormously in Africa and has transformed lives, particularly around mobile payments. But because of that, I'm very interested in this accessing kind of remote expertise. And so what I've done over the years is try and create something that really just boils it down into something that's so simple it could run over 3G on a mobile phone in Africa. We're a UK company and we're focused here at the moment, but there's long aspirations to try and get this out there more broadly. So what we do is we basically get doctors, they join here, it's free for them to use, they create an account, and then they share a case. We've got this is the test version, this is the staging server, so these aren't real cases. I can't show you the real cases because you're not doctors. Maybe there's one or two here, but most of you can't see those cases. And doctors can share them with all members, or the most important thing is they can also share them with panels. I'll describe that in a minute. When they share a case, it's very, very simple. It's text-based. You can add images and files, but the vast majority of the expertise is given around these tiny clinical summaries that doctors come up with. And we've done tests with doctors, and it's quite clear that a doctor can summarize a complex case in about 2 or 3 paragraphs in about a minute in text. And people can just come in and ask questions. So it's just a chat engine, like you might have in a Google Hangout, text-based. It refreshes live, which means if somebody's watching the same case, they can see it happen at the same time. So very, very simple technology that can work over mobile platforms, but actually incredibly powerful. We also have another bit here, which is you can tag diagnoses. So you add them in, and then people can vote them up and down. So they can say what they think is the right one, and then the case sharer can mark it as the definitive diagnosis. That's the DX is short in medical terminology for diagnosis. And then that is the case sharer who does that. So just for the question that I'll get, who's liable for this, the case sharer is liable for this. They make the diagnosis, but on the advice of the people who are contributing to their case. And that also gives us structured data for those analytic people in the room, so we can start doing related cases and things. The cases must be anonymized. You mustn't share actual patient data in this kind of all-member area. And that's one of the key ways we maintain patient confidentiality. And that's built into the medical codes and regulations. So as a medic, as a doctor, you know that you should not share cases online without the patient's permission. And therefore, doctors are well aware of this issue of making it anonymous. And the business model in 30 seconds. So we work with healthcare businesses who basically use these panels and they ask them questions. It's an online advisory board. They subscribe to us and pay us a subscription, and we manage the panel doing content, moderation, finding the doctors, and we charge them for that. And that business gives us enough money to offer this to doctors free all around the world.
Hi. I just wondered if you'd thought about making it work a bit like Tinder, so that doctors can swipe through dozens and dozens and dozens of cases looking for whatever it is that they're particularly good at spotting. So if you get things like thyroid eye disease, for example, which if you know what you're looking for, you can just spot it immediately, then if you just get lots and lots of eyeballs on that have got the specialism, and as soon as somebody swipes right, basically you can upload that diagnosis, just grind through this stuff as quickly as possible. That would seem to me to be the most efficient way of making use of the crowd.
I think that's a great idea. And you can see we built it as case cards so that they reshuffle on different screen sizes, responsive design, and they work across different sized mobile devices, iPhone 6 Plus and etc. But adding that kind of swiping into it in the app would be great. We've actually built the app. We haven't launched it yet, which is why I'm not talking about it today. But we've got an app coming out, kind of obviously. So the app, we could build in gestures like that.
I know that the NHS is massively overworked, so have you done any sort of research of how many doctors will participate in giving their free time, which they're already overworked, to something like this?
So it's really another good question. So we find that the issue is getting doctors to share cases. Once they share it, everybody's got an opinion to give. So when a case gets shared, you very quickly get 6 or 7 responses. But doctors are so overworked, they don't think of it. So it's not, we've basically got that mass effect, the critical mass problem, which is where we don't have enough users. So it's not, people aren't coming back regularly to check it every day. And until they're checking it every day for interesting cases, they don't think of it every single day when they have an interesting case. So we kind of get a little vicious circle going there. But when we get enough usage, we think that people think of it more. But as soon as you get a case shared, Ali, who's over there, our communications lead, will send out an email newsletter to all the doctors with the 2 or 3 cases shared each week, the best cases, and that goes out, and then we get 5 or 6 responses on almost every case. So it's quite interesting. So doctors love giving their opinion, is the learn on that.
Thank you so much. Can we have a huge round of applause for Felix?